Okay, two things I want to say before we get into the next chapter. Number one, of all the dog references in this book, that Hurley hopping in his chair and barking like a dog is so cool, like so funny. Second, a statement I should have made before reading that chapter was, I don't think they're ever going to break Hurley. They might end up killing him, but Hurley is not going to give away any information. There's absolutely no way. With that being said, I don't know what this next chapter is about, but let's go ahead and get it started. Chapter 51. Moscow, Russia. It was almost noon and Ivanov was still in bed. He claimed he wasn't feeling well, moaned something about the snow and the cold and the gray, depressing Moscow sky. Of course, it had nothing to do with all of the vodka and wine and heavy foods he'd consumed until well past midnight. Shevets would have liked to throw him in a cold snowdrift and shock him back to the here and now. The young Russian didn't understand depression. He couldn't see how people allowed it to get so bad that they couldn't get out of bed, was unable to understand that the drinking and the sleeping were all intertwined like a big sheet wrapped around your body until you couldn't move. And then you started sinking. Stop the drinking, get out of bed, and work out. Have a purpose in life. It was not complicated. Shevets crossed from one end of the parlor to the other, glancing at Alexei, who was one half of his boss's favorite bodyguard duo. They were in a corner suite on the top floor of Hotel Bolshoi. He looked out the big window across the frozen Moscow River at the Kremlin, Red Square, and St. Basil's Cathedral. Shevets had never understood why the Bolsheviks had let the cathedral stand. They were so anti-Tsar, so anti-religion. Why let this one church remain while they destroyed so many others? The answer probably lay in their own doubts about what they were doing. The people had risen up and helped them grab power, but the people were a tough beast to tame. Shevets thought they probably feared it would bring about another revolution. Frost had built up around the edges of the window. It was minus 20 degrees Celsius, and the wind was blowing, whipping up clouds of snow. But so what? It was February in Moscow. Only a weak man allows the weather to affect his mood. I guess I'm weak then, because hot days suck. I hate the heat. Shevets let out a long exhalation, his breath forming a fog on the window that froze within seconds. Ivanov was about to drag him down, take him under like some fool walking out onto the melting March ice of the Moscow River. These weren't the old days of deportation to a Siberian work camp and executions against the back wall at Lubyanka, but the government was by no means just. The new regime was just more astute at PR. They could still be beaten senseless and be forced to sign false confessions of crimes against the state and whatever else they decided to trump up. Then they would be taken to the woods and shot, far away from the ears of the people and the new press. Ivanov would, of course, try to save his vodka-soaked hide. That was his nature. He would blame anyone but himself, and since Shevets was the person most directly in the line of fire, the only person other than Ivanov who had actually met Herr Dorfman, he would be the scapegoat. Gripped with an unusual fear, Shevets had a sudden urge to flee. He paced from one end of the parlor and back, trying to calm himself, but he couldn't. The idea of running was suddenly in front of him, like a big flashing road sign warning the bridges out. Turn now or crash. But he had a wife and 2 boys. Not that he saw them very much, or really loved them, or more precisely her. The boys were too young to judge. His wife, on the other hand, had made a mistake. She'd gotten fat and lazy, and Shevets spent as little time with her as possible. He could certainly live without them, but could he live with himself if anything happened to them? He wasn't sure about that one, so he set it aside. Starting over was the other problem. As Ivanov's top deputy, he was poised for lofty weights within the SVR, And like his boss, he could leverage that for personal gain in the not-so-distant future. That was something he did not want to give up without a fight, but the rumors were starting, and by next week they would be undeniable. He had either to run or turn on Ivanov, go to the SVR headquarters, and ask for a face-to-face with Director Primakov. Even as he thought about it, he knew it would be far riskier than running. It was easy to trick himself into thinking they would reward him for doing the right thing, but the SVR was not all that different from the old KGB. You were rewarded for plotting, conspiring, and crushing your political and professional opponents, not for doing the right thing. If he turned on Ivanov in such a manner, he would not be rewarded, he would be punished. Not right away, but eventually. They would send him away. No one would want to look at him because he would be a reminder of their failures. He didn't even consider going to the Federal Counterintelligence Service. The FSK would jump at the chance to embarrass their flashy sister agency, especially if it meant taking down someone as big as Ivanov. But Shvets had no desire to be branded a traitor for the rest of his days. The men who turned against the security service had an extremely high occurrence of suicide. Shvets was pragmatic to the core, but this sitting around could only spell disaster. Some type of action had to be taken. He turned away from the window and looked at Alexei, the thick-necked bodyguard. Alexei, do you trust me? The bodyguard lifted his heavy head and looked at Shvets. He shrugged in the way a man shrugs when he finds a question not worth answering. Do you know what is going on with our boss? Another shrug. You know he is in trouble, yes? This time, Big Alexei nodded. He's in a great deal of trouble, and he doesn't want to admit it. He would prefer to drink himself silly and shut himself in with the hope that the problem will simply go away. The problem isn't going to go away. In fact, it's only going to get worse. Shvets was tempted to tell him what was going on, but wasn't prepared to go that far. I need your help, Alexei. I can't get him out of bed and sober him up enough so that he can defend himself. Do you understand that? Yes. Good, Shvets said, satisfied that he had gotten somewhere with the man. Now, don't shoot me or break my neck, but I'm going in there to wake him up. Alexei pursed his lips while he thought about that. He told me, no one, including you. Your job is to protect him, right? Well, if he put a gun to his own head, would you try to stop him? Yes. That's what he's doing right now. By getting drunk and sleeping the day away, he's killing himself as surely as if he put a gun to his head and pulled the trigger. You need to help me save him. Jesus Christ. What do you want me to do? Nothing. Just sit here and don't hurt me. Shvets didn't wait for an answer. He went to the bedroom door, knocked twice, and then opened. The bed was huge, and with all the pillows and blankets and 2 prostitutes in poor light, he couldn't tell what was what. So he went to the window and yanked open the heavy velvet drapes. Gray light poured into the room, and Shvets heard Ivanov moan. He searched the tangled mess and still couldn't find the man's head. Sir, Shvets announced, Director Primakov is here to see you. A flurry of activity erupted from under the blankets. One or both of the girls screamed as Ivanov dug his way out, all elbows and knees. His red face appeared midway down the length of the bed. What? He asked, a mask of horror on his face. You can't be serious. No, I am not, but if you don't get out of bed and do something about the situation, he will show up sooner than you think. Or maybe you would prefer Director Baranikov to show up with the FSK boys and drag you downtown. Ivanov pulled his head back under the covers. Go away. No, I will not. You have been pouting for 3 days now. You need to come up with a plan of action or we're doomed. We are worse than doomed. We are fricked. Stop being such a baby. Be careful what you say to me, Nikolai, or I will get out of this bed and throw you out the window. Not a bad way to go when compared to what the FSK will do to me. Unfortunately, you have neither the strength nor the courage to throw me out the window, so it looks like I will be tortured in the basement of Lubyanka. He looked over at the bed, but there was no movement or reply. Please, boss, I beg you to do something, anything. Defend yourself. Tell Director Primakov the money is gone. You are a fool. I will be put under an examination that I won't be able to withstand. Then place the blame on the dirty Palestinians. You know how Primakov hates them. Tell him they killed Sharif, over a bad business deal and took all the money. Blame the Americans, the Brits, the French, the Germans, I don't care. Just blame someone and start investigating. What are you doing? What was that? Ivanov snapped as he popped his head back out. Blame someone and start investigating. Before that, at the beginning, blame the Arabs? You were right. Primakov does hate them. But my money, what about that? What about that? Shevets was pleased with his small victory. Now he needed to bait the hook. I have some ideas about that as well. He started walking toward the double doors. I suggest you get out of bed and shower. I will order an extremely late breakfast. We can discuss your finances over coffee and eggs. Okay. So, Ivanov was just having a little pity party over here. He still plans to go to Beirut, right? Okay, so this next chapter is like another 3-page chapter. My camera is being stupid, though. Stupido. Please stop being stupid. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start this right away. This is the last chapter I'm going to read today. I've decided, well, actually I haven't decided. I might stop there. Chapter 52. Beirut, Lebanon. Rapp was in his boxers, pistol at his side, staring at the door of the apartment and trying to decide what to do. It was dark, and he had no idea how long he had slept. Whoever was trying to get into the apartment had picked the lock. Rapp raised the pistol and took aim. Either that, or he had a key. He eased his finger off the trigger. Maybe it was a nosy landlady, or Hurley was testing him. No, it wouldn't be that. If they were still in training, it would be something he'd gladly try, but not in the thick of it like this. For all he knew, Rapp might use it as an excuse to shoot him. Don't shoot Hurley. Hurley's great. Rapp stayed in the hallway that led to the bedrooms, so he could use the wall as cover. The door started to move and then stopped. The rubber stop he'd placed underneath it was doing its job. The door opened a crack, and Rapp heard someone say something, whispering as if they were talking to someone else, but then Rapp heard, "Hey, open up," in English. Part of the problem was that he had no idea how long he'd slept, and consequently what time it was. He had awakened with a start as he heard some soft knocking on the door, followed by the sound of metal on metal. And now whoever was out there was talking to him and getting louder. "Hey, shithead, open the damn door. We've got big problems." The concentration of The contraction of "we have" was what caught his attention. It was not Hurley or Richards, so the "we" thing threw another level of mystery into the equation. "I know you're in there. Open this freaking door so I don't have to break it down." Rapp quietly crossed the room on the balls of his feet. The door was cracked about an inch. "Who is it?" "Freaking Goldilocks. We've been compromised. Open the door. I need to get you the hell out of here." Rapp's heart started trotting. Goldilocks. Compromised. What the hell was going on? "What's the password?" Rapp heard the word "shit," followed by a heavy sigh. "I'm not part of your merry little band. I don't know the password." There was a pause, and then, "There's a leather case in the bedroom closet with a few handy things in it. You're probably holding one of the silenced Berettas right now. I'm the guy who put it there." Rapp frowned. "Were you in Istanbul a week ago?" There was a pause, and then, "Yeah, was that you?" "Nice little garden flat with alley access. Case was in armoire, with a pillow and blanket on top," Rapp said. "Bingo. Let me close the door first, and then I'll let you in. Roger." I'm gonna laugh if this guy's name is Roger. I don't know who this is either, so if I voiced them wrong, my bad. Rapp pushed the door closed and kicked the doorstop out of the way. With his pistol in his right hand, he opened the door and then stepped back, holding the gun in a two-handed grip. The guy entered the room and closed the door behind him. He was wearing brown pants, brown shirt. Hold on. He was wearing brown pants, brown shirt, and brown baseball hat. Where had Rapp seen that outfit before? The visitor dropped the box he was carrying and raised his hands. Kid, could you lower the gun? If I was a terrorist, I would have blown the damn building up. Looking over the iron sights of the Beretta, Rapp said, a few more questions. What's going on? You've been compromised. I was ordered by Washington to come get you. Who? Irene. Rapp lowered the gun. Why? Follow me, the man said as he picked up his box and started for the bedroom. Stan and your other buddy were picked up at their hotel this morning. This morning? Rapp asked, dumbfounded. What time is it? Almost 6:30. They were grabbed by the cops and then handed over to those assholes from Islamic Jihad. Rapp stopped moving. Say that again? Don't stop moving, kid. They could be on their way here right now, and I don't think we want to be standing around talking when they show up. He opened the box and pulled out clothes that matched his. Here, put these on. I'll grab your shit. He tossed the clothes on the bed and went to the closet, retrieving Rapp's suitcase as well as the beat-up leather case. Rapp's mind was swimming upstream, trying to process what he'd just learned. But the man turned on him, a frightened, wild look in his eyes. No buts, he hissed. No questions, no nothing. We need to get the frick out of here, and I mean now. Rapp nodded and began putting on his clothes. This stranger was right, of course. He quickly put on the brown uniform and stuffed his clothes in his suitcase, while the stranger wiped down the doorknobs. In just under 2 minutes, they were out the door and on their way to the street. The stranger went out first, and after casually looking up and down the street, motioned for Rapp to follow. They threw the suitcase and empty box in the back of a simple white minivan, then left. Rapp glanced at his rental car and almost said something, but thought better of it. They had bigger problems. Yes, they did. And who is this guy? Why? Okay, whatever. So this is the guy that put all those oh, I keep hitting my, sorry about that. So this is the guy who put the bags in the thing. But who is he? I'm tempted to guess Victor, but obviously no, because Rapp would definitely recognize Victor. But he said he recognized the outfit. Does that mean we're supposed to recognize the outfit? That's interesting. I don't remember anybody wearing stuff like that. Let me think here. Who? Is it somebody we've met before, or is it a new person? It's gotta be a new person, right? Because we haven't really met anybody who could be coming back. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm tempted to read the next chapter too, but I might not. I don't know yet, so bye.